Asia has always been one of the most beautiful regions on Earth. From tropical islands and ancient temples to towering mountains and vibrant cities, millions of travelers once poured in every single year. Tourism wasn't just a luxury, for many Asian nations, it was survival. But in 2026, something alarming is happening. Flights are being canceled, hotels are shutting down, entire tourist towns are going silent. Today, we'll reveal 7 Asian countries now at serious risk of economic collapse because of the tourism crisis in 2026, and explain the real reasons behind their struggle. This isn't about empty beaches, it's about lost jobs, rising debt, social unrest, and national survival. Watch until the end, because number 1 may shock you the most. Welcome back to The Explorer Now. I'm your host, Zinnia. Let's dive in. Number 7. Maldives. At number 7, the Maldives. Often called paradise on earth, the Maldives looks perfect on postcards. But behind the blue waters and luxury resorts, the country is facing a harsh reality. In 2026, the Maldives is dangerously exposed because tourism makes up nearly 70% of its entire economy. That means when tourists stop coming, everything stops. Why is this so dangerous? Because tourism funds, government services, foreign debt payments, jobs for most working adults. As visitors declined, hotels began closing, flights were reduced, thousands of resort workers lost their only source of income. The government had borrowed billions of dollars to build luxury resorts, airports, infrastructure. Now those loans remain, but the income is gone. Rising sea levels make matters worse. Protecting islands and repairing damage costs money the country simply doesn't have. Small businesses like diving schools, boat operators, souvenir shops are shutting down, turning once busy islands into near ghost towns. Families are leaving the country to survive. In 2026, the Maldives faces a terrifying truth. Without tourism, there is no backup plan. Before we continue, comment below where you're watching from. We love seeing how global this community is. Number 6, Cambodia. At number 6, Cambodia. Home to Angkor Wat, one of the world's greatest wonders, Cambodia once welcomed millions of travelers each year. But in 2026, tourism revenue has fallen sharply, and the impact is devastating. Why does this matter so much? Because Cambodia depends heavily on entry fees, hotel stays, tour packages. Angkor Wat alone once generated over half of the country's tourism income. Now, hotels in Siem Reap are closing. Tuk-tuk drivers have no passengers. Restaurants once packed with travelers sit empty. Thousands of families have lost their only income. Tourism taxes once funded schools, roads, hospitals. Now those budgets are shrinking. Meanwhile, Cambodia is still paying off debt from new airports, resort developments. What was once the country's golden ticket is now a financial burden. If tourism doesn't recover, Cambodia risks deeper poverty, rising unemployment, and long-term economic damage. Number 5, Nepal. At number 5, Nepal. Nepal's identity is deeply tied to tourism. Mount Everest, the Himalayas, world-famous trekking routes. But in 2026, fewer travelers are arriving, and the consequences are severe. Why is tourism so critical? Because it supports guides, porters, lodges, entire mountain villages with fewer climbers and trekkers. Lodges are closing, shops are shutting down, villages are being abandoned. The government also earns millions from climbing permits. Without that income, funding for roads, schools, healthcare is drying up. Debt from airport expansion and hotel construction is becoming harder to repay. Young people are leaving Nepal to find work abroad. Without tourism, Nepal's economy stands on dangerously weak ground. If this video is opening your eyes to what's really happening in Asia, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future reports. Let's continue. Number 4, Sri Lanka. At number 4, Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka's economy was already fragile, and the tourism crisis in 2026 has pushed it closer to collapse. Tourism once helped Sri Lanka recover from civil war, natural disasters. But now, resorts are empty, flights are fewer, workers are unemployed. Families who once survived on tourism income are falling back into poverty. The government relied heavily on tourism taxes to import fuel, buy food, maintain basic services. With that money gone, prices are rising, protests are growing, social unrest is increasing, small villages that sold crafts or guided tours are turning silent. In 2026, Sri Lanka shows how quickly a nation can fall when its main lifeline is cut. Number 3, Thailand. At number 3, Thailand. For decades, Thailand was Asia's tourism giant. Bangkok, Phuket, Chiang Mai. But in 2026, the sharp drop in visitors is exposing just how dependent the economy became. Tourism supports, hotels, airlines, street vendors, night markets. With fewer tourists, hotels are closing, flights are canceled, workers are unemployed. Government revenue from tourism taxes has fallen, slowing development and increasing debt. Even cultural traditions suffer when fewer visitors mean less funding. Thailand's global image as a top destination is fading, and without recovery, economic damage could last for years. Number 2, Indonesia. At number 2, Indonesia. Indonesia is massive, but parts of its economy are dangerously concentrated in tourism. Bali, Lombok, Yogyakarta. These regions depend almost entirely on foreign visitors. In 2026, resorts are closing, beaches are quiet, small businesses are disappearing, even farmers and fishermen suffer because hotels are no longer buying supplies. The government invested billions in airports, roads, tourism projects. Now debt is rising with little return. Inflation and unemployment are creating social tension. If tourism doesn't rebound, Indonesia risks long-term instability in key regions. Number 1, Philippines. And finally, number 1, the Philippines. Tourism once brought billions of dollars and supported millions of jobs. But in 2026, the decline is hitting harder than almost anywhere else. Boracay, Palawan, Cebu, once full of life, now slowing down. Hotels are closing, travel agencies are shutting down, families are losing income fast. This crisis affects fishermen, farmers, transport workers. Debt from airports and tourism projects is rising. Inflation makes survival harder. The biggest fear? If airlines cut routes and investors pull out, recovery could take decades. For the Philippines, tourism wasn't just business. It was hope. And in 2026, that hope is under serious threat. So there you have it. 7 Asian countries at serious risk after the tourism crisis of 2026. Now I want to hear from you. Which country do you think will recover first? And which one faces the biggest danger? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read and reply to as many as I can. If you want more deep global analysis, like, subscribe, smash the notification bell. You're watching The Explorer now. I'm Zinnia. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.